Hello, this is my Crazy X channel. Please subscribe.
I 25F revenge cheated on my husband 27M and then found out he didn't cheat in the first place. He was just meeting his sister. I don't know what to do now. Story 1-2. TLDR, my husband went on a business trip and during the trip he went on a date with some girl. As a revenge I went on a few Tinder dates and had few one-night stands. Later it turned out the girl was his sister. Now I feel bad, because I did a wrong thing. But it wasn't my fault. Hello Redditors. I have made a humongous mistake and it's eating me up. I'm crying all the time and I don't know what to do. To put you more into the context, me and my husband grew up near the city B, but we moved to city A that is 14-hour drive away. 2 weeks ago my husband was going on a week-long trip to city B. One day into the trip I get message from my friend telling me that she is having a meal at certain restaurant and that my husband few tables next to her having a meal with good-looking young girl. She even sent me a photo of them. They were laughing and stuff. It wasn't business meeting, besides that my hubby didn't tell me he will have meetings there. At this point I knew what was going on. He was cheating on me. My intuition was telling it to me, and the way how happy they looked at that photo just got me angry. One thing I hate the most is the infidelity. At this point I was just craving revenge on him. I have installed Tinder, it's a dating app, and I went on a date with first attractive tall man that asked me out. The date quickly led to one night stand and it got me extremely satisfied. But it didn't end there. The next evening as I was having the same angry feelings, so I found another attractive tall guy on Tinder, and the another evening? Once again, the same scenario. However, after that, I was video calling my hubby and he casually mentioned speaking to his sister about something. At this point gears in my head started turning. His sister lives in city B. I pulled up her Facebook and I have realized my mistake. Girl on the photo was indeed his sister. I didn't see her for a long time since we live far away, and now even with the COVID and stuff, she looks different than I remember her. I don't know what to do now. Reddit. I feel like trash. This whole revenge cheating was mistake. But it's not my fault. I mean, I was in the situation where it looked like my hubby is cheating on me. Everybody would react the same if they were in this situation. My husband is now back home from the trip, but I feel huge anxiety next to him. Even looking in his eyes is painful. I'm secretly crying. I don't know if I should tell him or try to forget about the thing. The whole thing was stupid mistake anyway. My husband is a good man that makes a lot of money and can take care of me. I can't break up with him. Tell me please what to do. Edit. I came here for advice and not for judgments. Please don't attack me. Edit 2. For all the haters and downvoters, duck you. Go somewhere else. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1. No, everyone would not react the same. And it's completely your fault. Op answer, you are just saying this, but if you yourself was in the same situation like me, you would do the same. Stop gaslighting me. Redditor 2. 1. It sounds like you used this date as an excuse to behave the way you wanted to without repercussions. 2. It is your fault. Redditor 3. I don't think anyone is stupid enough for this to be true. Redditor 4. Can't turn a hoe into a housewife SMH. Redditor 5. Edit 3. This is a troll. Redditor 6. Nice try, troll. Redditor 7. One thing I hate the most is infidelity, goes out and fucks the first tall guy she meets. Lol, how TF do you not know what your husband's sister looked like? You are definitely in the wrong for this. You did not even ask your husband who he saw there. I think you need to tell him what you did because he deserves to know. It seems like you're gonna have to find another man who makes a lot of money. Op answer, I met her only few times and that was years ago. Now she is different. I mean, I should have realized that, but I didn't and I feel stupid now. And I revenge cheated because I had a reason for it. Redditor 8, entertaining read, fairly decent trolling. Next time I would pay more attention to the backstory. The thing about not knowing what his sister looked like, not knowing he was going to visit his sister, didn't make much sense. Overall a good attempt, room for improvement. 710. Redditor 9, how the F do you marry someone and not know what their sister looks like? Op answer, we don't meet our families often. Or better said, rarely. I have seen his sister like 3 times in total and that was long time ago. She looks different now. But I should know better. Redditor 10, what the heck did I just read? Tell him the truth. Op answer, I'm so afraid he will break up with me and we will get divorced. I would want to have family with this man one day. But at the same time it's eating me up. Redditor 11, cool story bro. This happened. Redditor 12, you suck dude lol. Redditor 13, you could have confronted your husband when you thought he was cheating but instead you go behind his back and cheated. Grow up and tell your husband you cheated on him. Redditor 14, it is entirely your fault. Redditor 15, one thing I hate the most is the infidelity. So you proceed to cheat on your husband anyway? Let it be a lesson to you not to jump straight to conclusions by a photo alone. But it's not my fault. I mean, I was in the situation where it looked like my hubby is cheating on me. Everybody would react the same if they were in this situation. But it is your fault and you need to take responsibility. Not everyone would do the same thing as you either, so don't try to make excuses for your behavior. Unfortunately, all you can do now is tell him what happened and the reasons for it and see what happens. Redditor 16, tell him. Op answer, would not telling him be a problem? I'm afraid that he won't like me after I tell him. But not telling him would mean I will feel anxiety all the time. Redditor 17, lol. Wonderful drama stuff. Should have made it a little wilder by saying he went to Mars to meet his long-lost sister, and it just so happened that your friend was there. What are the odds? But you had amnesia, so you forgot what the sister looked like. And then you went on Tinder and the first guy you hooked up was your husband, but you didn't recognize him at first cause of the trauma you've been through. Redditor 18, hilarious read. How dumb can a person be? If true, this is a confusing marriage. You don't know what his sister looks like and you trust him that little? Do him a favor and get a divorce. Op answer, I have seen his sister like 3 times and it was years ago. We don't visit our families often, we live far away and have busy life. Redditor 19, shit is so your fault. Redditor 20, tell him the truth and get a divorce. Or maybe get rehab or meet with a counselor. You both need to learn to communicate. Story 22, found out my 28 meters wife 26F cheated on me while we were engaged after 8 years of marriage. I need some advice on how to deal with this. I'm struggling a lot with it and I don't know what to do. The scoop. My wife and I had a long-distance relationship for a few years, then decided to get married and move in together. We did that, and have had 8 years of a solid marriage with no major issues. We also have 2 kids. I recently discovered that a few months before we were married, she gave a blowjob to this guy that she had been hanging out with after work. I was devastated. As not only were we engaged at the time, but up until this point I had believed we were both only ever with each other. Which is something that meant a lot to me. We talked and sort of worked things out. She swore to the point of crying that nothing else has happened. A few months after finding this out, I did some digging and found out she was regularly giving BO jobs and making out with 3 guys, one of whom was bragging that they ducked regularly. I confront her about this, and again she swears that she didn't duck any of those guys, but admitted she gave and received oral and hung out with them after work. But I have other sources saying she was ducking at least one of them. I find it very hard to believe that she would hang out with them at their house and only make out and do oral sex. Like there's no way they didn't have sex. I'm suffering emotionally. I find myself overwhelmed with anger and sadness. I stayed true for her all of those years, and now I find out she wasn't doing the same. I don't care what she did before we were dating. But doing this shit while we were planning our ducking wedding? I can't trust her. She has lied to me 3 times now. I find myself emotionally disconnected from her. I feel like something that meant a lot to me all this time never existed in the first place. I can't even look at old pictures of us the same way without feeling angry. All I want to do when getting home from work is not be around her. But I love my kids. I just want what I had before. I almost wish I never found out, but I'm glad I did. I don't want to split up, but I know that if I'd known about this 8 years ago, I wouldn't have married her. I know forgiveness is probably the right path, but I can't do it. All I think about is how much it hurts and how angry it makes me. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, reconciliation isn't always the best path. Yes, it happened a long time ago and, yes, you love your children. But her actions then and now have completely altered the foundation of your relationship. It is okay to take time to be angry and hurt. It's okay to not want to spend time with her. You certainly shouldn't be expected to forgive her, perhaps even ever, for what she did, nor for the fact that she lied to you continuously about it and perhaps still isn't being honest about it. Reconciliation takes a lot of pieces to make work, and it is extremely difficult. More often than not, it doesn't work at all. You need to be able to feel the hurt and be given time to come to terms with it. This is a fact of your relationship with your wife now. Nothing will ever change it. It will always be a part of the foundation of the relationship. Even though it happened years ago, she lied to you for years to hide it. When you discovered something was amiss, she continued to lie until you had proof. It's called trickle truthing. No matter how long ago it happened, the betrayal is fresh and the trust is fractured now. It takes a lot of work for the offending partner to rebuild that trust. It will likely take upwards of a year or two for things to work back toward a more normal state. You're grieving what you believed your relationship was while trying to build a new one from the broken pieces. It's a lot of work for you to try and come to terms and accept what happened, and even more work for your wife, who should be willing to go to the ends of the earth to try and repair what she damaged in the first place. Maybe you will decide to try and reconcile. Maybe 6 months from now you realize that you'll never be able to look at her the same and that the relationship is unsalvageable. Both are valid options. You don't have to choose now. The best thing that you can do is get yourself into therapy and, if you're feeling up for it, attending couples counseling with your wife. This can be a traumatic experience, and a good counselor can help you process your feelings, whichever way they land in the end. Any subreddit about infidelity will also urge you to seek out a divorce lawyer, even if you plan to reconcile, so that you can see where all of the chips lay legally. Usually they can give guidance on financial issues in case you do pursue a divorce, so you can be more prepared. But please, don't pressure yourself to make any choices right now. Take time to process everything. I'm sorry this happened. It's a terrible thing to discover, no matter how long ago it may have been. Take care of yourself and your children. ETA, thank you for the awards. Op answer, you're grieving what you believed your relationship was while trying to build a new one from the broken pieces. So much of what you said is spot on and good advice. Really helped me to see this from a more clear angle. But this quote hit me hard, as it's exactly what I'm feeling. Thank you for taking the time to reply, it means a lot. Redditor 2, respect yourself. 1. A cheater, always a cheater. She's victimizing herself and continuously lying to you. Do a paternity test on your kids, find a lawyer, separate your finances, and go to therapy. Op answer, as far as I know, she has not cheated after we got married. I know the kids are mine. They both look a lot like me. Do you think I'm overreacting about something that happened so long ago? Thanks for your input. Redditor 3, like I said in another comment, if you didn't suspect her of cheating during the engagement, how would you know she isn't cheating afterwards? Op, this woman admitted it to you but then also didn't tell you the whole truth, and she will continue to never let you know the whole truth. Up until you found out she did more than what she told you. What did you do get past her infidelity? Did you go to couples therapy? Have her quit job? Did you even try to understand why she cheated in the first place? Seems like you didn't even give her any serious consequences to breaking your trust. Redditor 4, bro WTF, why don't you leave? First of all, blowjob means S-time. It involves a S-timule organ, so it's S-time by simple logic. Don't let anyone manipulate you into thinking otherwise. Plus she was fucking those guys while wearing your ring, which symbolizes commitment and trust on her finger. I also can't believe that she went through with the wedding putting a happy face knowing she betrayed your trust and hurt you and still kept lying to you for 8 years. How diabolical is that? And would it happened a long time ago, so I maybe be overreacting? Would you have TGE same energy if your loved one was killed or raped? Cheating is a crime as well. Also, before you think of reconciling with her, just read this post from a divorce attorney's perspective. Redditor follow up. Honestly, I think a BO job is kind of heavier than S-time, if that makes sense. If I have S-time with a guy, I'm getting something out of it, but a BO job is something that I do for him, for no other reason than wanting to make him feel good. That said, cheating is cheating. Redditor 5, your wife belongs to the streets, sorry homie. Redditor 6, Look man, you either need to split with her or accept that she's going to keep lying and cheating. If you absolutely can't be without her, then you need to suck it up and accept this is who she is. You are going to resent her if you stay though, and it will only get worse. I wouldn't put the kids through that tbh, the decision is yours though. Redditor 7. Forgiveness and divorce are two completely separate things, the latter needs to happen, regardless of the former. I've been in your shows, just walk away my friend. Don't shackle yourself up for years of misery, pain and anger. Free yourself, your kids need a father who is happy and emotionally healed. So long as you stay with this lying, cheating pos bimbo, who ducked around while you were staying faithful, you won't know happiness, and you know I'm telling the truth. Your children will quickly pick up on the resentment, and the emotional fakeness and instability will negatively impact their upbringing. Don't prolong the greatest hope you have for a brighter, happier future, you Oscar Mike 247. Redditor 8, no can do math. Redditor 9, are you looking to divorce her or you want to continue in this relationship? Op answer, we've been together so long and actually have had a great marriage. No fighting or anything. I consider her my best friend. I don't want to disregard all of our time together. I just can't stop thinking about the pain and how I feel like I can't trust her. Redditor 10, I don't understand why people in a LDR would get married and then move in with each other, that just sounds insane. Redditor 11, cheaters don't change, break it off. I also think you both kinda ducked up marrying at such a young age. She was barely 18 and you were 20, correct? And engaged prior to that? Like was she 17? Not the best move. Redditor follow up, yeah, getting married that young, especially fresh out of being long distance, was a dumb move. Redditor 12, Jesus dude. I've been in a similar spot. You're still in shock because your entire world had ended in front of you. Your old life is ducked and over. I'm sorry, I know it's brutal. I'm gonna give you advice on how to handle this. Play it cool with your lady, contact an attorney, get an escape plan, get an paternity test, hit the gym to process all of your rage, discover a hobby or focus on improving your career. Get a divorce and paternity test. I'm sorry, but you have to respect yourself enough to not live in a delusion. Redditor 13, forgiveness is wrong. The right thing is what you're going to say, either stay with her or leave, but what makes the right choice is that you can be happy. Don't stay if you don't want to, and don't do it just for the kids. She lied to you all this time and she keeps doing it since she won't tell you the truth. Has she said anything else about that? Has she tried anything to regain confidence? Does she realize how much this has affected you? She is regretting it? If you want my opinion, she get out of there. She is not telling you the whole truth and she keeps hiding things. Op answer, she has shown genuine remorse and regret. She told me that she doesn't expect or want me to forgive her. She actually wanted me to hurt her. She said she feels a lot of guilt, so she wants me to hurt her in some way, or whatever it takes to make me feel better. I told her I don't want to hurt her. I just want my pain to go away. I'd never do anything to hurt her, even after this. She wants me to talk to her about how I feel. But she gives me the space to bring it up. Since I confronted her, she hasn't tried to make any excuses or any explanations. Just that she knows she ducked up, and hates herself for hurting me. She's been encouraging me to bring it up with my close friends and family or anyone I'm close to have someone to talk to about it, which shows she's not worried about her image or hiding it from others. Redditor 14, so you started dating long distance when she was 14-15 and got married when she was 18, which presumably was when you first started having an impersonal relationship as opposed to long distance. Long distance is hard when you're a functional adult. My husband and I did it while I was working and he was in med school for a year. You have to function very differently. However, when you're 14-15 and you're long distance, you tend to think of it more as we talk online video chat. Every so often we meet up and have a great weekend or vacation together, but in the in-between moments, because you're teenagers, you're doing your own things. So she likely was living a typical teenage life of dating boys, while dating you long distance, hooking up because you're not around and thinking nothing of it. Then you get married and you're basically starting your relationship from that point because you were long distance previously. You took your relationship seriously, while she feels very typical high school student in an internet relationship of doing whatever and knowing your old faithful who she can fall back on. Almost a best of both worlds. Realistically, she risked your health by hooking up. Even if we assume it's just oral sex, she still risked your health. You were both young when you got married, but she was not just young in age, but young in maturity. Only you know if you can more to a path of reconciliation. Can you learn to trust her again, or is that foundation shattered? Answer, thanks for the reply. I was young too, I had several opportunities to do the same. Some very close. But I was always thinking of her, and kept myself pure. So far as to even reject a girl who tried to kiss me when hanging out with some friends. I guess I saw the relationship more seriously than she did, which adds to the pain. But come on, we were planning our wedding when she did this. She had her dress picked out. There's no way she thought our relationship was any bit casual at this point. Redditor 15, not sure about anyone else, I think blowing a guy is worse than ducking them. Redditor 16, not sure about you man, but if it were me, I wouldn't be able to ever look at my sig other the same way and would probably file for divorce. She desecrated your trust in the relationship and I wouldn't be able to have respect for her. Sometimes time heals all wounds, but this one seems pretty deep. Some folks stay for the kids and separate after, but your emotional well-being is also at stake and that could impact your kids. There's a lot to digest for you, but really ask yourself what you value out of this. Self-respect and integrity? Stability for your kids? Your emotional well-being? The bright side is you're only 28 and still young. Redditor 17, I wonder how you discovered this? Via her confession, logical conclusions you pulled together, or something else? All the best. Redditor 18, I was cheated on by my ex-wife a few years back. My story is different since she stepped out while we were still together. At first I was desperate to keep things together. We have 2 kids as well. Obviously it did not end well and we're divorced. When I look back now, I'm so glad that I don't have to face someone every single day of my life that would treat me so poorly. I'm glad that I have a chance to love someone else that will be faithful and truthful to me. Redditor 19, you married an 18-year-old and you're surprised they acted a fool? Redditor 20, if she still has in her the audacity to lie to your face and deny you closure for the sake of her own comfort, she probably has it in her to cheat again. Do you really want to be in a relationship where you have no choice now but to constantly dig for the truth? And your only other option is to degrade yourself into acceptance and numbness to be okay with never knowing the whole truth? And not just that, think about the smaller lies. If she's willing to lie about something this big, think of all the other things she's been willing to lie about since then. She's not ready for uncomfortable honesty, so she's not ready for a committed relationship. It's up to you now to respect yourself enough to leave.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.